Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily, the early edition. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And kicking straight off with, of course, the season is returning and returning very soon. As a matter of fact, only a couple of weeks ago now until games restart in the Premier League. They carried out a load more tests yesterday. And one test returned positive. Actually, somebody from Tottenham Hotspur. They haven't said who the person is, whether it's a member of staff or whether it's a player. But one member of Tottenham Hotspur has got the COVID-19, has been tested and is found to have the COVID-19, and we wish them all the best in their recovery. But I was just noting here that they carried out 1,197 tests this week in the Premier League, and only one was positive. So that is good news. Out of 1,197, only one positive test. So all the measures that they're taking seem to be working, and everything is still on track for the season to return on June the 17th, when, of course, Arsenal kick off against Manchester City. Now, I spoke to you a couple of days ago about Jadon Sancho, and he unveiled this T-shirt where he asked for justice for George Floyd. Of course, this is something that's been going around with a lot of footballers. You know, they've been getting involved in the whole thing about George Floyd that has been happening in America. And at the time, Sancho was shown a yellow card and also was going to face further disciplinary action, along with some of the other players in the Bundesliga who had showed solidarity towards George Floyd with their protests. Well, now that has been rescinded, and he's not going to face any disciplinary action or any of the others who took a knee. FIFA intervened as well and said that it wouldn't be right for them to face any action at this time. Under normal circumstances, you're not allowed to have any political messages on your shirts. But in this case, they have said that he will not face any action at all. So I think that's the sensible thing to do. This is something that has touched the whole world right now. And Jadon Sancho not going to face any further action regarding it. Now, with the games kicking off, of course, there's going to be no fans at the stadium. And it's going to be hard, man. You know, the passion of celebrating a goal and stuff like that. Now, there's been a lot of talk that, and I don't know what you guys think of this, they might pump fake noise. And this is not just Arsenal. This is other clubs considering this as well. That the possibility of pumping fake noise into the stadium. So fake cheering, fake noise, as well as other things they're looking at is the possibility of halftime interviews, interviews in the changing rooms. They're trying to think of different things that, you know, can bring a bit of excitement because of the fact that there's not going to be any fans in the stadium. I don't know what you guys think of that. I'm sorry. Fake noise, I think just better off leave it without it. I'm not feeling that idea. I mean, I'd have to hear what it would sound like, but yeah, there's Premier League clubs considering it. Do you think it's something that would work at Arsenal? Serious answers, please. Don't just come and say, "Oh, will it be noisier than what it normally is?" Which it could be sometimes when we're playing certain teams. But let me know what you think about that idea. And there's also talk of Arsenal playing a friendly against West Ham. West Ham, of course, they've already played. That was like the last game that we played before the whole lockdown thing came into effect. A game that we won, of course. It was a very tight game, but we did win that game in the end. Well, West Ham have proposed playing a friendly against Arsenal. Of course, friendlies are allowed to be played before the season starts back, but each team is forbidden to travel more than 90 minutes to get to the team that they're going to play. And also, all of the players have got to travel to the game in their own car, to the friendly game in their own car. No coaches taking all the players, etc. So a possible friendly against Arsenal. Of course, you know, they want to play a friendly against a team that they're not going to face coming up. So that is one of the reasons why they proposed Arsenal. So we could see a friendly, and I would presume that would be next week sometime, a friendly between Arsenal and West Ham before the season kicks back off. And that seems sensible if they're going to try and get players back up to speed. Now, Arsenal linked today with a player who plays over in Russia for Zenit St. Petersburg. He's actually an Iranian international, so that would be interesting if we signed him. He'd be the first Iranian, as far as I know, that would have ever played for Arsenal. His name is Sada Azmoun, plays for Zenit St. Petersburg. He's only 23. Got a good goal-scoring record this season. He scored 14 goals in 29 appearances for Zenit, and has been having a very, very good season. Now, there's a lot of reports out today that Mikel Arteta has got in contact with Andrei Arshavin to speak to him about the possibility of Arsenal signing this guy should Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang not sign a new deal. How they found this out, how they know he's contacted Arshavin regarding this, I would love to know. It's one of those stories that come up and you're like, well, how do you know that Arteta has got in contact with Arshavin? Who told you that? Where do you get that from? Or did you just put the fact that Arshavin looks after the transfers at Zenit St. Petersburg, he used to play at Arsenal, teammate to Mikel Arteta? Oh, let's put it together that he got in contact and spoke to him about the possibility of signing this guy. I'm not buying that, but they are. The rumours are that they are looking at this guy. They're looking at a host of strikers. Of course, it's the sensible thing to do because there's still no certainty of what's going to be happening with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So the sensible thing to do is to look around at strikers. I'm not sure about how much money he would cost. I'm not sure about if he would suit the Premier League. But as I said, been having a decent season, 14 goals in 29 appearances. And again, I have to admit, I've not seen this guy play. I don't know if any of you guys out there have glimpsed him playing in the Russian league, but said to be very highly rated. Could he be on his way to Arsenal if Aubameyang goes? We will have to wait and see. There's also this one today about Mohamed Elneny. I spoke to you guys about this the other day. Now, Elneny, who's playing over there for Besiktas, hasn't been paid. He's said to be owed around about anything between about 600,000 to 1 million euros in wages that he hasn't been paid. Now, quite obviously, coronavirus or no coronavirus, he's very upset about this. He's been having a good season at Besiktas, and there was a lot of talk about him signing there on a permanent deal. However, this has really, really peed him off. The negotiations are said to not be going very well at all to get this all sorted out. It's not the first time with clubs over in Turkey. They do have quite a bad record for this. And Elneny now is threatening to quit Besiktas and come back to Arsenal. Now, the Turkish league is supposed to be resuming next week. It's supposed to resume on the 12th of June. And as it stands, he's saying he's not going to play. And his contract finishes on the 30th of June anyway. As things stands, there's no way he's going to, extend that. So could Mohamed Elneny be returning back to Arsenal and could possibly play for Arsenal before the end of the season? Because in effect, he'd be back as an Arsenal player, wouldn't he? He's out on loan. He's registered as an Arsenal player. He'd be off that loan. Could he play for Arsenal? But certainly, as it's looking at the moment, it don't look like, for starters, he's going to sign for Besiktas next season, because this is going to leave a very bad taste in his mouth, the fact that he hasn't been paid. And also, as I said, his contract runs out on the 30th of June. And a lot of clubs have been extending the contract so that the players can stay in place until the season ends. But if you was Elneny, you'd be saying, no thanks, I'll go back to Arsenal so I can get paid. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that situation, but certainly very messy over there in Turkey. And Kieran Tierney today being linked with a move away again to Leicester. These rumours were around not so long ago. They seemed, very improbable. Mikel Arteta has said that, he's looking forward to Tierney playing. He's looking forward to Tierney being back in the team. We haven't been able to see what he can do because he's been injured. And he is one of those players that back to fitness now is going to be really interesting to see how he's used when we return. But Leicester, who looks set to sell Ben Chilwell this summer, it looks like he could be on his way to Chelsea, are looking for a replacement. Brendan Rodgers, of course, used to have Tierney at Celtic and is very, very keen on him to come in as that replacement for Chilwell. I just don't see that is going to happen. Arsenal, they've invested a lot of money, 20-odd million pounds in Tierney. He's been injured. They're going to want him to play next season. Mikel Arteta has got a lot of faith in him. Unless he completely bombed from now till the end of the season, I can't see how Arsenal will consider selling Kieran Tierney. Let's get into some of your comments today. Thank you very much for all of them as usual. They've been firing in. Let me see if I can grab the first one here. Sorry, yes. So that was the one I was looking for. John SC says, "Is Azmoun good enough to play for Arsenal? I'm not sure. He has a good goal scoring record for the Iran national team and at Zenit, but not sure if he would really fit Arsenal." As I said, I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. I have to be completely honest. I ain't going to lie to you. So I want to hear from you guys if you know anything about him. Stephen says, thoughts on bringing back Sven Mislintat? That's sailed. Why would Arsenal want to bring back Sven Mislintat right now? I wouldn't see any sense in that. The guys that they've got here ain't doing too bad a job. Pav, I can't get his comment up, but he says, Pav says, "Hi Robbie, have you seen the video of the young autistic black lad being racially bullied yesterday? He's a football fan. Players like Declan Rice, Lingard, Rashford have all condemned the actions and what happened to the lad." Yeah, it's still going on, unfortunately. Despite what is going on at the moment, some people still feel that they can go and racially abuse people. It's absolutely incredible. Luke Dalton says, The Athletic reported that Sky won't ask for a refund of the TV money until the end of next season, allowing teams to have a bigger transfer budget. Okay, we'll have to see what happens with that one. Socially Outcasted says, Tierney ain't going nowhere. If Chilwell goes, that's Leicester's problem. And I agree with you. I can't see him going anywhere. Arteta's looking forward to working with him. Mohammed says, Robbie, Partey should be a priority, but if we fail to sign him, Ibrahim Sangar should be an alternative, could prove to be a gem. There's also that Pat Gay as well, who he was supposed to go to Watford. Very cheap, available. I remember when we had Adam on from Get French Football, he was saying that, listen, this guy, he's another Ndidi, unknown, but he's quality. It looked like he was on his way to Watford, and then something's gone wrong with that Watford deal, and he's available again. Could be one of those little gems that Arsenal could pick up. Kartik says, have you seen the reports that the Glazers have withdrawn 150 million from their American banks specifically for players' transfers? Seems if United use this climate to stare ahead of the bunch. Well, there's a lot of rumors that's what United are going to try and do. They're going to, try and use the fact that, they've got a lot of wealth and still go quite big when others are going to be really having to pull back in the purse strings. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Will our owner withdraw any money to sink any money into the club? That's what I want to know. JK says, do you think Arsenal can beat City? Of course we can beat City. It's going to be very difficult. We haven't beaten them away for a very long time, but it's a completely different game, who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be really fascinating to see. What we have seen, though, with behind closed doors, the better teams seem to win the game. So you'd have to say City are the favourites, because the crowd being removed seems that it just comes down then to pure quality, and City have more quality than us. So you would have to say that they would be the favourites to win the game. Abe says, which defender from the lower Premier League team would you love to see at Arsenal? Personally, I'd love to see Ake or Ben White. They're two good shouts. That Tchaikovsky at Burnley, I say lower down, they're only a point behind us, Burnley, but he's not bad. Is Lewis Dunk, of course, at Brighton, who are down there struggling at the moment. I would have thought if they went down, there'd be a lot of clubs trying to get him. He's a quality player. Mihir says, Robbie, hi, Robbie. Would you welcome Elneny back at Arsenal? Also, can you please go happy birthday to Sonny Burke? He's a massive gooner. Happy birthday going out to you, Sonny. Of course, we'd welcome him back. He's an Arsenal player, so we'd welcome him back. Don't know where he'd fit in. Don't know where he'd really play. I suppose, you know, he'd be reinforcements because we're going to need the full squad. So, yeah, I'd welcome him back. Long term, though, we know that he's not the answer. Next season, we need to be moving on from players like Mohamed Elneny. But for now, yeah, bring him back. If they're not paying him his wages, I think he's definitely going to come back. Really, Schooner says, what's the policy after the 30th of June for player contracts on ability, not team achievements or longevity? Who would you rate more, Overmars or Perez? I've been asked that one before, and it's such a difficult one. Overmars was so exciting. Perez was so exciting. I slightly go Perez. And that's because of all the things that he won at Arsenal. And the policy on the 30th of June is that contracts run out on the 30th of June, but you can apply for them to be extended. So a lot of them are being extended. I don't think they're being automatically being extended, but you can just put in for them to be extended until the end of the season. Don Robbie Burner account says, Robbie, do you still have a grudge on Koscielny? I don't have a grudge on Koscielny. I just don't like, I thought it's disgraceful the way in which he left the club when he did that thing about taking the shirt off. And I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen a footballer do. That you're coming towards the end of your career, right? Because he's playing for Bordeaux now. Within a year or so, 2 years, he'll be out of Bordeaux. He'll be in retirement. What's he going to then want to do? Come back to the club where he had a lot of his career and expect to be greeted with open arms after doing a stunt like that? Very, very dumb thing to do as a footballer. He's dumb for doing that. He really is an idiot for doing that. And it's on him. It's on him. It's going to come back to haunt him, I think. Daniel says, hi, Robbie. If Aubameyang leaves, I'm open to playing Martinelli as a striker and Lacazette as his backup. Thoughts? Splash the money on a midfield and defence, and Tierney to Leicester. That's a good joke, Robbie. Well, I'm just reporting what, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just reporting what was out there on that. I think that's a good plan. You know, we could push Martinelli up, Lacazette. We could promote them. There's Eddie Nketiah as well. You know, there's Pepe who can play in a more forward role. The midfield and the defence does need to be fixed, but then also we would miss Aubameyang's goals big time. Will says Jonathan Tah, the centre-back from Leverkusen, would be a good option. We've looked at him for quite a long time. Remember when we had Alex on the show? He was saying that, you know, Jonathan Tah makes a lot of mistakes and he watches German football every week. Champ7 says, imagine Dan Gotti telling now that he is not an Arsenal fan and wants to buy, telling now that he is an Arsenal fan and that he wants to buy Arsenal, but then he goes and buys Tottenham. I can't see that happening. But, you know, he's saying he wants to buy. Best in the world one says, good evening, Robbie. He must be in a far-off country. He says, do you think the friendly games would be on TV? And why does the league want to make games more entertaining with all these gimmicks as fans, we are more than happy with games will be back. And I agree with you. I'm not sure if those gimmicks will work. I don't know if you saw that one the other day. It was over in Denmark, I think it was. Is it Midtjylland? They did like a, which I thought that was a very cool thing to do. They did like a drive-in. So you got these drive-in cinemas. So loads of fans drove in their cars and watched the game on a massive screen. I thought that was cool. But all these things about pumping in sound and there's no fans there. There's no fans there. You can't replace them by pumping in sounds. I'm sorry. Winfried says, do you think Arteta will do a better job than Emery? And where do you think it all went wrong for him? He was definitely, I think, do a better job than Emery. Emery just went crazy. You know what I mean? He just, different team every week, falling out with players, lack of communication. It just all went wrong for him. And straight away, I'm seeing a better communication between the manager of the players at the moment. And I'm seeing a more, not to say that Emery wasn't driven. He definitely was driven, and he's I think he's a good manager, but it just didn't fit. Arsenal was just not the right fit for him. Going to do the last couple here. Black Badger says we need a real leader like Yaya Toure. YXNG says, would you like Santi and Mertesacker as back staff for Arteta? Well, Mertesacker's working with the youth team, but Santi coming in wouldn't harm at all. Soam says, I've seen Azmoun play in the Asian Cup for Iran. He played very well, and I think he won the Golden Boot. But I think he will do well at Arsenal. So that's a great shout on that one. Cheryl says, Xhaka is not good enough if we want to compete with Liverpool and Man City. Kingsley Opera says, no way on earth are we letting Tierney go anywhere, let alone Leicester. If there's any transfers between Arsenal and Leicester, it should be Ndidi moving the other way. And I've got to agree with that. Thanks for watching the show today. The evening show is earlier today. It's going to be coming at 6 o'clock. So look out for the show today. 6 o'clock, we're going live tonight. So look out for the evening show. Thanks for watching this morning, and I'll see you. Have yourself a great day.